All right, so we got some big announcements last night by Dana White. I think he announced this shit at like 11 p.m. right when I was about to go to sleep, but he got to it. We thought he left us, but he announced a full UFC 327 card, which we knew most of these fights. I think we knew about 8 out of the 13 that there are, but he announced some big ones, of course. Let's just get straight into it. Of course, Jiri versus Ulberg. This is a perfect fight to make. Definitely need to make this no Jiri Hamzat. Thank God. So it means Hamzat's staying down at 185. I think we get the Strickland matchup, honestly, because I think if Strickland lost, they might have went with Jiri Hamzat. But now since Strickland won and they have someone there that's more intriguing than Imavov because of the whole beef they got. I think they go with Hamzat Strickland, and now Jiri Ulberg is a perfect fight. It's a really interesting fight as well because Jiri, his last performance, he looked like shit the first couple rounds. Of course, obviously, he got the third round. He did his Jiri shit, just dog fight, clinch work. Still powerful, still explosive, even though he's tired, just fighting through it better than his opponent. And then his comeback, whatever. But those first 2 rounds, he was very, very hittable. And Khalil, he's not as accurate as someone like a Ulberg. And we've seen Yuri's chin, right? It's very, very good. He's his granite chin. Other when he fights Alex Pereira, and Alex Pereira is someone who's got that crazy power and accuracy as well. He's very accurate in his shots. He's a good counterpuncher. That's what he got Jiri both times. I think the first time was like a right hook, but it was hooks. Carlos Ulberg has a very good left hook. Like that check hook that he has. Obviously a good 1-2. A very, very nice counter ability. Maybe even better than Alex Pereira in terms of just being a straight sniper on a counter. And he has some power in his hands. Obviously he knocked out Dominic Reyes, who's fucking the chin, like his chin is just gone. But against Uzdemir and against Jan Blachowicz, those guys are a little bit more set in their place than like a Dominic Reyes and a Jiri. You know what I mean? Like they're a little more defensively sound. They're harder to. They don't give you as many openings to counter them and land a big shot, which I think Jiri is going to be very dangerous these first couple of rounds. First 2-3 rounds, he'll be very dangerous against Ulberg, in my opinion. Until he turns it up, because I have Jiri winning this. I think he'll get Ulberg against the fence, and as Jiri's like circling out, he can land some big hooks. And get him there against the fence, knock him out, something like that, or hurt him, then get on there. But yeah, it's going to be dangerous because that counter ability from Carlos Ulberg, because he's very accurate and he also has some power in him. And I think this is a good matchup for Ulberg early on. Like Jiri, who's going to be all over the place, erratic, open to counters. I think this is very tough for Ulberg. For Jiri early on, but it's also tough for Ulberg once it gets later in the fight. I'm going to go with Jiri by knockout as of right now, though. But it will be very tough early. I think this fight, people are underestimating Carlos Ulberg in this matchup. I think Carlos Ulberg is very good. And this is a good matchup for him early on. Next up, we already knew this, but Josh Van versus Tatsuro Taira. Talk about this one a little bit. Josh Van, he's shown good takedown defense, good grappling instincts, but is it enough? Has it been enough experience? He hasn't fought high-level opponents in the grappling and wrestling realm, in my opinion, compared to like a Taira, who's also big and long. But the thing with this, why it's different from Pantoja, is the pace and the striking of Taira. I don't think the pace and striking of Taira will be effective against Van, because Pantoja is going to push the pace. He's going to land big shots and that will set up his takedowns and him like kind of rushing in and getting like a body lock, taking you down, something like that. Or getting to your legs, getting your hips. I think in this one, this is the most winnable out of a Taira, Pantoja, Cop for Van. I think he could definitely win this. I'm going Taira by sub as of right now, just based off my memory. But I might switch to Josh Van by like decision or late TKO. Because I'm going to go back watch that Brennan Royval fight. But when Tatsuro Taira was able to get to Brennan Royval, he got him down and held him there, got on his back, top control. And I think he'll be able to do it. Van's pretty small for the division. He's tiny. Tatsuro Taira is pretty big and long. I just think the pace, if Josh Van, I think in a fight like this, Josh Van is going to be able to outstrike and piece him up and really control the pace. Which those two things, I could really see him winning the fight off of that. But the grappling to me is like a little iffy. It's hard to pick against someone who you don't know they're grappling. They're kind of untested there a little bit. Yes, you have a Ray Soria fight, but Ray Soria sucks. His takedown entries are ass. If you go back and watch that fight, I remember before the Pantoja fight, I'm like, shit, I might pick Van. And I watched a Ray Soria fight because a lot of people were referencing that. I'm like, this shit sucks. But as of right now, Tatsuro Taira, I'll go him by sub. Next, Curtis Blades versus Josh Hockett. That was already announced, but Hockett's, they could match each other in the striking. Hockett, the cardio, the wrestling, the grappling. The speed, Hockett's probably winning there. Curtis Blades did not look good his last matchup against Kuniev, who's pretty good himself, and Curtis Blades did tear both his MCLs. But I'm leaning Hockett right now. I want Curtis to win, but I'm leaning Hockett just based off that fact of speed, because they could kind of match each other everywhere. Obviously, he's not experienced, but Curtis Blades also didn't look good. He's been out for almost a year at this point. I'm going to go with him. Then we have Benil Dariush versus Manuel Torres. Not much to say. I don't know what Benil Dariush's management team is doing. Same thing with Curtis Blades. What the fuck are they doing? You went from Kuniev to Hockett. Whatever. Benil Dariush gets another killer. Manuel Torres is just fucking funeral for Benil Dariush. Like, first round knockout. Next up, Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. I don't fucking know, honestly. I think Walker's going to win by KO. It's a tough one because they both have no chin, but Walker's last performance, he looked a little decent. Reyes, his streak was a little iffy, honestly, looking back at it. Yes, he beat Dustin Jacoby, but Dustin Jacoby kind of went out there a little too aggressive and looking for a finish. Like, he thought he could just, like, get Dominic Reyes out of there easy. Then you had Anthony Smith, who just curled up into a ball. Then you had Nikita Krylov, who just darts in like a retard. I think Johnny Walker went against Zhang Mingyang, had a good game plan. So I think Johnny Walker by KO. He's more athletic. He's more explosive. And maybe Dominic Reyes leaves himself a little too open. He just got knocked out again. Pretty bad. So yeah, I'm going to go with Johnny Walker by knockout. Next up for the prelims. Very good prelims. Mirzakhanov versus Paulo Costa. Very weird matchup, but a banger matchup, honestly. Paulo Costa, number 13 in middleweight, is moving up to take on undefeated number 6 on a nice streak. Azamat Mirzakhanov, he's undefeated, obviously. I'm going to go Azamat by decision or KO. But this is a tough fight for him. Paulo Costa's big. He has very nice kicks, which Azamat Mirzakhanov, he's more of a boxer, gets in close, counter, whatever. But I'm going to still go him. I think we'll be able to get into the range of Paulo Costa, hit him with some big shots, but Paulo Costa's going to make this tough with his kicks to the body, to the legs, to the head, because Azamat's a shorter guy. Interesting fight. Weird, but interesting. I would have liked to see Azamat versus Ankalaev. So Ankalaev probably is going to fight Blachowicz again. Or Khalil. I could see a Khalil Ankalaev fight. That would be a banger. Then we have the fucking Bellator cum bucket, or I don't know. Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico. This is a fun fight as well. A very good fight. These are all bangers. Patricio Pitbull, coming off the win versus Danny Gay, another great performance. He did show good entries. He has a good, like, on his strikes, good counter strikes, good takedown entries. But I'm going to go with Pico here. He's a younger guy. He's more explosive. He looked really good offensively against Lerone Murphy. Defensively, looked like shit. I want to see how much he could keep that pace up, too, because it was a very high pace for those 3 minutes they were fighting. And, yeah, I think, but I'm going to go Pico here. It's a very good fight, though. Then we have Mateusz Gamrot versus Esteban Ribovics. Esteban Ribovics gets a shot up, not into the top 15, to the top 7. Which is weird, because you have Killen Salkield right there, who might get Michael Chandler, honestly. But Killen Salkield beat Nasrar, who beat Esteban. And not only beat him, knocked him out with a head kick in the first round. I know you don't want to lose that, but whatever. You have Fares Ziam also, number 15 already. Manuel Torres is getting another shot in there. Chris Duncan just got Makano. I think Killen Salkield and Fares Ziam should have got Gamrot and Makano rather than Ribovics and Duncan. But nonetheless, a good fight. It's going to be a banger. Esteban Ribovics is a great striker. I think he can win this matchup. I'll favor him here as of right now. Gamrot obviously is the wrestling. I just don't think he'll be able to control Ribovics that much. I mean, I have to go back to Ribovics fights to see a little more of that, how he does at getting up off the ground and his takedown defense. But I'll go with Esteban Ribovics right now by decision. Cub Swanson versus Nate Landwehr. That's a banger. Nate, I think, got knocked out by Morgan Charrier in like July. I think it was his last fight. Looked a little slow, but still a dog. Cub Swanson, I think he hasn't fought since Tampa card. I'll lean Cub Swanson here, but it's going to be a banger war. Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown. I'm going to go Kevin Holland here. I think, looking at their last performances, Kevin Holland look a little shitty, but they're both inconsistent. But I think the kicks of Kevin Holland will come in handy, and I trust him a little more in this matchup, surprisingly. I'll go with Kevin Holland. Then Kelvin Gastelum steps in for Kyle Dawkins versus Vincent Luque. Gastelum, I could see him chinning Luque here. Luque's moving up. I could see him just landing a big shot and just chinning him, sadly. But yeah, the last two, I don't really care. Alvidres versus Prado. Prado's kind of shit. I'm going to go with Alvidres, who I think is coming off Contender Series. But yeah, that's it for UFC 327. Let's move on to some more news. And this fight, UFC, World Light Heavyweight Championship, it's vacant, meaning Alex Pereira will be moving up to fight for the heavyweight belt. Probably interim, I would guess that's going to be on 328. We'll talk about the other options in a minute. I would guess it's going to be on 328 because they kind of need to get Alex to fight. He hasn't fought since October. Same thing with Cirogan, who I think is going to be next. You could say Volkov, but bro, I'm sorry. Volkov is in a terrible spot to fight for the title because he's coming off a loss to Cirogan, and then he just fought Jolton Almeida. And not only did he won, but it was a very bad win. He got controlled for 11 of the 15 minutes fights. It's because Jolton Almeida beat himself. He doesn't know how to do ground and pound. That's a fight like that with Volkov. I don't think Volkov's in a good spot. You have Cirogan, who's coming off, yes, he beat Volkov with a robbery. And he's also coming off the fight where he was beating Tom Aspinall. Yes, it was only 4.5 minutes. He had the eye poke, but he was beating Tom Aspinall. It's a much more intriguing fight for like promotion-wise and fans in a Volkov matchup looking at their past couple of performances. So Alex Pereira, and I think Alex Pereira will 100% become, not 100% obviously, but I think he'll become heavyweight champion. I don't think these guys could hang with him on the feet. Cirogan, yes, he's a kickboxer. He's good kicks, good hands, but his footwork, his feet sometimes come together. He has that long man defense where he likes to back up. I think the Pereira we saw at UFC 320, who was probably the biggest I've ever seen him in the cage. The fast, explosive, very dangerous, and good defensively as well. I think ever since working with Strickland, he's been getting better at like rolling with shots. He does that very well. He doesn't get hit that hard that often. Yes, against Ankalaev, he got rocked the first time, but I think he went for like a body kick and had bad positioning. And he recovered well. Then against Khalil, he got dropped, but I don't think that was a drop. He was doing stupid shit that fight, honestly. And he was sick. But healthy Alex Pereira last fight, that was no one in the UFC beats him right now, I don't think. Tom Aspinall, Cirogan, I think he's going to go out there and knock Cirogan out. If he comes out that same aggression, where he comes out with a fucking meaty ass 1-2, I think he knocks out Cirogan. I don't think Cirogan's good enough for Alex Pereira. I think Alex Pereira's going to have double letterman skill. He's going to be faster. He's going to be more powerful. Cirogan is not that powerful. I think at a certain point, and also Alex Pereira is not cutting 35 pounds of weight. He cuts 35 pounds to get down to 205 now. His chin is going to be fucking amazing. He's not going to have to cut any weight. His chin is going to be very, very good like it already has been. Obviously, he got quartered by Adesanya, but that was 185, bro. His chin has looked very good. It's going to look way better at heavyweight. I think he's going to knock the fuck out of Cirogan and Tom Aspinall when they fight. Tom Aspinall is predictable on his entries for takedowns, for his striking. I think he knocks the fuck out of Tom Aspinall too, especially coming off a big layoff, which he will. Alex Pereira will be the heavyweight champion of the world. Now, I say 328 in May, but I could see the White House, because Dana White says he will be announcing the White House event this week. He said this week. This guy, Damon Martin, who's always has good updates. He's an MMA fan, okay. Let me follow this guy. He says, yeah, should be announced this week. To clarify, I think he meant next week. I'd imagine it comes before 326. That's what I was thinking too, because when he announced it, let's look.
More information. I will have more information for you guys. Actually, no. This week I should announce the White House fight. This week I should be announcing it.
So this week it's kind of weird because you don't usually say that when there's a weekend coming up. You say this weekend. because there's only like 1 day left of this week, basically, which is Saturday, to like really announce something at the fights, maybe post-fight presser. But I think I would probably guess next week, maybe like Tuesday, like how they do sometimes, or Thursday at the press conference at 3:26. That's what I would suggest. And the reason I say that, like I was talking about Alex Pereira, because there was another report coming out that chances of Ilya and Gaethje taking place at the White House have decreased. Colmenero, whatever, some reliable Spanish source who's done a lot of reports on Ilya Topuria, says the fight hasn't been signed yet, and several geopolitical and economic factors are reportedly standing in the way of it happening at the White House. I'm not sure if Trump's advisors would feel comfortable putting a Hispanic Georgian fighter in the main event in a scenario where there's a high probability that the American star gets knocked out. It's also about advising and structuring things in the most positive way for American interests. I understand that, but who else are you going to put Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler as the main event of this card? Yes, Conor McGregor is the fucking poster child of the UFC, but to main event this card while you've been hyping up for this long, and this one-time event, I don't think I don't think you could do just McGregor. I think you got to do Ilya Gaethje there. Get them on there. So other options, you have McGregor, Alex Pereira, but again, if they don't want Hispanic Georgia knocking out an American, it's the only American champ you have. You can't put Kayla Harrison on there. She's out with the neck. Alex Pereira is fucking Brazilian. Sirgon's French. Like, there's no, you're not putting Hamza and Islam on there. Especially Hamza. Unless he's fighting Strickland. Oh, shit. Hey, Hamza versus Strickland, but you can't have Hamza fucking scream, Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! Like screaming through the fucking press conference at the Lincoln Memorial, wherever they're doing it. The weigh-ins at the Lincoln Memorial is fucking screaming Allahu Akbar, or running to the cage and beats the American guy and then screams Allahu Akbar, throws his mouth guard at a army veteran in the crowd and then screams Allahu Akbar. Like, you can't have him there. But that's what I think. Those are my thoughts on this card, this banger card. What do you guys think? I think it's a card of the year so far. I see people talking shit. Awful. Card is ass. What the fuck are we talking about? 2 title fights. 2 amazing title fights. Curtis Blades, Hoke, great fight. Dariush Torres, knockout. Azamat Paulo, very interesting fight. Pico Pitbull, very good fight. Gamma Ribovic, great fight. Swanson Landwehr, banger. Holland Rennie Brown, Lanky Blacks. Kevin Gastelum, Vince Teluque, that's going to be a great fight. And then I don't care about these. So yeah, those are my thoughts. See you guys probably tonight for a recap. I might do a recap, I might not. Fuck it. Because I hate this card. I don't even want to talk about it, bro. See ya.